We're going to take a trip back to 1955 in a small Ohio town. It's nighttime. The kind of night where it feels like you are the only one in the world. No streetlights, no other cars, just a 2-lane road running alongside a river that you can't see, but you know it's there. A traveling salesman is behind the wheel. It's 3:30 in the morning, as dark as it gets. And he's all alone. Or so he thinks. He's driving along the Little Miami River outside of Loveland, Ohio, when something catches his headlights. He slows down. He stops. There are 3 figures on the side of the road. Now, his first thought was probably, oh, people. Maybe somebody broke down. Maybe somebody needs some help. It's 3:30 in the morning after all, on a dark river road in Ohio. Of course you stop to help, right? Except they aren't people. They're standing upright like people, but something is different with their skin. It's leathery, and their faces. They look like frog faces, wide mouths, and their hands and feet, they're webbed. That can't be right. No. Wait, are they talking? They don't react to him. They don't run. They just keep talking to each other, like he interrupted a conversation or something. Like he's weird for being there. He should go. He really needs to leave. But he stays. And this isn't even the weirdest part. One of them raises something in the air. It's not his hand or a weapon. It's a wand. That's right, a wand. And it shoots blue and white sparks into the dark Ohio night. He still doesn't go. He watches this for a full 3 minutes. 3 minutes watching frog creatures have a meeting on an Ohio riverbank at 3:30 in the morning, and one of them is shooting sparks into the sky with a wand. Hey, I got a new one for you. Ever heard of the Loveland Frogman?
Isn't he an insurance mascot?
Hi, I'm Ed.
I'm Miguel.
And welcome to The Neighborly Unknown, the show where we discuss the unknown in a neighborly way. Won't you be our neighbor? So we're in Loveland, Ohio. Small town, about 15 miles northeast of Cincinnati, and we're in Cleveland, as we mentioned, so we're about 3.5 hours south in Loveland, if you're keeping track. The Little Miami River runs through this story and the town, and the river is extremely important. It's almost like a character in this story, right? It's not just background scenery, it's extremely important. The river, which is named after the Miami people, who were the Native Americans who lived there long, long before, Algonquin-speaking nation, who called this river home for a very long time. It's very wild there, right? Mm-hmm. The river, and I even did Google Maps. When you do Google Maps, the riverside is dense. You can't necessarily see it from the road, but the road that we're going to discuss, where most of this has happened on, runs right along it, dense, and then river. Mm-hmm. And the river is extremely wild still. It's actually one of a large number of designated national wild and scenic river areas by Congress. Oh. So it's important, right? Town's kind of small, right? About 13,000 people today, so it was even less back then. But it's a suburb of Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And this story always follows along the fact that it's a populated area, right?
Hmm.
Which is a little different from some of the other stories that we've told where they're a little bit more rural.
Yeah.
This isn't rural America. This is suburbia. Okay.
Well,
For
depending on who you ask
Yeah,
about
right.
Cincinnati.
Yeah, right. You're right about that. Right. I'm throwing a little shade at Cincinnati already. We have four major stories here, and they span a 70-year period.
Hmm.
Just four stories. That's the culmination of this whole thing, right? And the first one that I kind of led with, 1955.
Okay.
Robert Honeycutt. Okay. Traveling businessman, salesman. You remember those old guys go door to door and they would, pack up their car and they'd have their suitcases and stuff like that. And they would
Yeah.
try to sell stuff, right?
Hmm.
Catalog salesmen and things like that. He's driving alone at 3:30 in the morning, probably just passing through town or going somewhere else. And he stops and sees something with his headlights. And like I mentioned before, there are three creatures that are standing there, okay, that his headlight catches.
Oh, I was wrong in our silly joke opener. So this was the Budweiser
Yeah, the
frogs that.
Budweiser frogs. Yeah, they're croaking.
Yep.
Yeah, right. That's probably it, actually. They needed a job now. Um, these are
Well,
little.
1955. This was before
Yeah,
they had their
before. Yeah.
big break. So yeah.
Yep. They're 3 to 4 feet tall, he describes, right? Webbed hands and feet, like I said. But here's where it gets a little weird. And what I said before was true. They look like they were having a conversation with each other. And then one of them pulls out a wand and starts shooting sparks into the sky. Okay. This is important because he's the only one that actually sees more than one. And he's the only person that describes the wand. Which is actually my favorite part of this whole stuff is the frog wand wielding individual who's shooting sparks in the sky, right?
So it's only is he amphibious, he's also a wizard.
Wizard, yes,
Okay.
or extraterrestrial, which I kind of want to dive into a little bit there. So,
Okay.
but yeah, we could touch any angle you want. Um, he sees this thing, right, doing this stuff. He sits there for about 3 minutes. There's really no interaction. And he drives off. He finally gets smart and is like, I need to go, right? And he goes to the police station and he basically describes his story. So this is where I like this because, right off the bat, when I started learning about this dude, I was like, oh, something's going on with this guy, right? It's 3:30 in the morning. What are you driving around for? What are you on or doing? But you're not on or doing anything weird and then go to the police station and describe frog creatures because right away they're going to think something's up. But they take it seriously, I guess. But nothing really happens after that. There was a report, right, of an investigator named Leonard Stringfield, who was a UFO kind of like, I think they called him a UFOologist.
Ufologist.
Ufologist.
Yeah. Ufologist.
Ufologist, yeah. Which
It might be
honestly,
ufologist.
I have a lot of degrees, but I need to pursue ufology as a degree. Yeah, I don't know what I've been doing with my life, but
I mean, there's a lot of new stuff coming out right now. So
yeah,
last
right.
week,
I know. I need to, maybe I'll look into that. I wonder what university offers that. So he takes down his account and he focuses on the wand a lot, right? Because the wand is weird. And we'll talk about the wand a little bit more because this is like a unique part of the Frogman story that doesn't appear in any other cryptid that I've discovered or learned about is the extraterrestrial element or the magical element kind of thing. So his story kind of stays local. It doesn't make like national news or big news, right? And there was no police report filed, no official investigation, none of that sort of thing, right?
even though he did go to the police.
He did go to the police, yeah. And they
But no report.
apparently took him seriously. Yeah, they didn't necessarily discount what he said, but they did take it seriously. Fast forward, right? So that was the first story, the first official kind of story. Fast forward to 1972, and this is where things get a little weird. Okay. Officer Ray Shockey, the police officer. Okay.
Okay.
1972, March 3rd. He's cruising along in the middle of the night, 1 a.m. And he's on the same road, which is this Riverside Road, and it turns into Kemper Road at some point. It just changes names, but it's all along the river, whatever. He sees something in the road. He thinks it's some kind of like an animal. I think he says it's like a dog or something like that. It's just like kind of hanging out. So he stops.
Oh, so Tasha was providing sound effects for this.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, right. Are we picking that up? But the creature stands up like on its legs, like its hind legs. Right? It's not laying there anymore. It literally stands up. It looks directly at the officer and then decides to leap over the guardrail and go into the river. Okay? So it's basically sees the officer, gets startled or something like that, and then jumps over the guardrail and then goes in the river. Disappears, basically. So Officer Shockey, this guy, goes back to the police station and tells one of his buddies. He told an Officer Matthews, hey, guess what, man? I know you're going to think I'm crazy, but I saw something really weird. And Matthews takes him seriously, and he goes, oh, well, let's go look. Let's go check it out. So they cruise back over there right after this happened, and they see scratch marks on the guardrail. So there were some weird claw marks or scratch marks on the guardrail. Okay? There's no police report. Nothing happens. They just go about their way. Whatever. Okay. Saw something weird. 2 weeks later, Officer Matthews, the guy who was told the story, right, from Officer Shockey, was driving along the exact same road, almost the exact same time at night, and sees a creature laying in the road. Okay. So he gets out of the car, thinks it's a dead animal or something, maybe wants to move it. The creature lunges at him. So, of course, you know what he does. He shoots it. Right? Mm-hmm. Yep. He shoots this thing. And when they interviewed him later, or long later, his thing was, this is a quote from him. I knew no one would believe me, so I shot it. Which, of course,
nobody's going to believe me. I'm just going to shoot it.
Yeah, right. I know. Just shoot at it. So keep in mind, these are two law enforcement officers on duty while they see this thing. So apparently it's dead, right? So he throws it in the trunk of his cruiser and goes back to the station, right? I feel like you have some questions already. You could go ahead and ask some questions.
I just shot something. I'm just going to throw in my trunk.
Throw it in my trunk.
And we're going to take it back.
Yep.
Okay. What is this guy like? Is it the middle of the night?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's the middle of the night. He doesn't radio anybody. He just cruises on back to the station with a body of some kind in the trunk of his car. Right? No one comes to him. He basically brings it back to the station. Now, again, it's winter time, right? In Ohio, Southern Ohio, but it's like March,
Okay.
So he drives it back, and the other officer, the one who first saw it, Shockey's there. Mm-hmm. So he opens his trunk and goes, hey, man, is this the thing that you saw? And Shockey goes, oh, yeah, that's the thing I saw. You killed it, right?
Mm-hmm.
He confirmed it. No formal police report was ever filed, which is crazy to me because he fired his gun.
A service weapon.
No police report was ever filed. Questions? I know. Isn't that weird?
Okay. Both of these, they kind of takes away a little bit of the credibility for me. It's just like 1955, he goes to the police, but no formal report is filed.
Yeah, right.
1977, service revolver is fired and no formal report.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I guess I would have to see when police officially had to start filing reports for every single shot. But I would imagine it's before 1977.
I would think so too. Yeah.
But it's weird that 22-year time span there is that 55, 77. So next one
70,
would be
72.
Oh, 72.
Yeah, 72. Yep.
Oh, man, I was going to hope for a 99, but okay,
Yeah.
72.
Yeah. So the body's in his trunk, right?
Yeah.
These are the only two people who see it. Body's disposed of. No one knows where. They've done interviews before. Nothing ever. They don't say what happens to this body. The body just disappears, right?
Okay.
Um.
So he brought it back, and then they just what? They just dump it in
I don't know.
The dumpster
or the river or something. Throw it away, burn it. Who knows? Bury it. Who knows? Who has any idea? They've never actually said what happened to the body, right? I know.
I feel like Shockey would have been like, "Hey, no, I gotta prove myself that I'm not a crazy cuckoo pants here.
Yeah.
I got, we got the body. It's right here.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, we're going to suspend my disbelief for this one.
So Officer Matthews, does do an interview for a book, right?
Okay.
And apparently kind of tells a story to this author. He says that he mentioned that when the officer opened the trunk, he saw an iguana. But there was no mention of an iguana in the book, okay? He basically said that the author had omitted that information even though he had told that to him. So there's a little bit of a weird thing in there. Also the fact that he doesn't actually formally mention that it was an iguana until, again, which is going to be the next story, in 2000, basically 17 or 16, right?
Ooh.
So we're gonna talk a little bit about that. So police officers, they shoot this thing, they got it in the trunk, body's gone. The story's known. People start talking about this thing. Okay, I saw this frog-like creature. It starts to kind of pick up steam in the area, right? Mm-hmm. A little bit. Again, no formal complaints or anything like that. This guy was giving interviews about what he saw. The officers were talking about it, when they were asked about it, and they were fine about it, right? Fast forward a little bit. Officer Matthews stops giving interviews. Okay. Mm-hmm. He just decides he doesn't want to really do interviews anymore. Okay. 2016. Okay. 2016. Sam Jacobs and his girlfriend were walking near a lake, Isabella, which is really close to this Loveland area and the Miami River or whatever. Mm-hmm. He's playing Pokemon Go because that's all the craze. 2016. Yeah. And he sees a huge frog-like creature again, nighttime in the water. Okay. It's not a Pokemon Go creature. He takes pictures of this thing. I've seen the pictures. They're a little grainy, but they look okay. Didn't have any idea what it was, and calls into WCPO Cincinnati. I guess it's like a radio station or something like that, and tells him the story. Right. Well, Officer Matthews. I'm sorry. We're gonna have to omit that. I was wrong. I skipped ahead. Right. So let's go back. Where was I? Okay. So Sam Jacobs tells his story and it starts being publicized, right? Mm-hmm. And people start talking about it. Well, you know who comes out of hiding? Officer Matthews.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Officer Matthews calls in to WCPO Cincinnati and says, all this time, it was just an iguana. It's the first time that he publicly actually says that it was an iguana since 1972. Changes his kind of tune to kind of downplay what this guy had seen in 2016, right? Mm. All the stories involve water. All the stories say it's a 3 to 4 foot creature who looks like a frog. Right? Mm-hmm. The frog creature doesn't interact with anybody at all. This guy took pictures. This last dude took some pictures. Like I said, I've seen them. They look okay.
Is this the flashlight eyes?
Yeah, the flashlight. Photo? Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're bright. I mean, it's the middle of the night, or it's nighttime or whatever, he's walking around. Cell phone camera? I don't know.
It was 2016.
Yeah, 2016. I don't have night sight or whatever it's called.
Yeah. There weren't a whole lot of low light capable cell phone cameras.
No, I know. One last little bit of information, then I'm going to open it up for you. I want you to start talking to me about this. 2017, a shop employee in Loveland reported that one of the two officers, they didn't know who, came into the shop and said the iguana story was BS. It was a real creature, and they have no idea what it was.
I'm guessing that would have been shocking because Matthews changed his story.
And Matthews, he lives in Florida. He's retired. He's gone. He's long gone. Doesn't do interviews anymore. Doesn't want to talk about this anymore at all. So that's where we're at. 4 stories starting in 1955, going all the way to 2016. 2 of them were lumped together in 1972. It starts with a wand, ends with a Pokemon game.
I can't even think of which Pokemon it would be.
A frog? I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of the later ones kind of would be more frog-like, but like none of them have a wand.
Yeah, so. No, I don't think so. Yeah.
We spend way too much time thinking about which Pokemon.
I know, right? Yeah, we need a different podcast for that.
Okay, I'm a little bit more on Shocky's side now because it sounds like Matthews maybe like kind of like threw this in to be like, hey, he's getting all this attention over here. I'm going to say I shot it.
Yeah.
And I told Shocky like, hey, it's in my trunk. You know, I bet that whole story was made up. And Shocky was like, no.
Yeah. Why? You have a police station, right? Yeah. And only 2 cops had interaction with this. They've got a body. If you shoot something weird and you throw it in your trunk and you bring it back to the police station, you only show one person.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to be like, come on over. Let's take a look. What is this weird thing? What do you got over here, officer? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, wow, let me take a picture of it. No pictures, no reports, nothing. It's a dead animal in a trunk that literally disappears forever. And they've never once said where it went, what they did with it. None of it. None of it.
I'm also guessing that the one that went into the shop was Shocky.
So probably. Oh, yeah, probably. Yeah, I don't know where he's...
I'm guessing he's going to be like, no, like Matthews is... He's been lying.
He's been lying.
He undercut
me. Yeah, right. Yeah. That's why the river's so important, right? Because it's involved in every one of these stories. It didn't just wind up in downtown somewhere, right? The river's very important. It's important to these creatures, or to the frogman. Where they found it, right? Not the 2016 story, but the other stories. Apparently, there's a boot factory there that has runoff, like pipes. It's like warm water. The police officers kind of like, they asked, what do you think? Why would it be there? Warm water runoff in the wintertime was basically there. But we'll get back to maybe why it was at that location and the runoff stuff, because I've got a little theory myself on that as well. But that's kind of where we're at, right? No more interviews are being given by these individuals. I didn't really look that hard, but I did try to Google the last guy in 2016 to see what he saw. But I saw the pictures anyways. I was just going to ask him for his photograph. But they're online anyways. There's some questions about those pictures, but he sticks to his story. He says he saw what he saw. It's some weird creature in the water with eyes and that flashed up when he took a picture. So
just some random guy coming out of a scuba diving trip.
I don't know, in a lake in the middle of the night or late at night. I know. I guess not, or I guess so. I don't know.
Well, we got to remember that all of these don't happen in a vacuum. We've got the context for what is happening here, and so like most enduring folklore, it appears at the intersection of environmental change, cultural anxiety, and regional identity, and kind of a little bit of that older mythic pattern that, we've talked about before of, people groups that are in the area. So to understand why Ohio tells this story, we have to understand the Ohio River Valley itself. Okay? So Loveland Frogman legend first emerged publicly in the 1955. It's that original story with the wand. It's during a period of enormous transformation in post-war America. We had just 10 years, like 10 years passed since we dropped the atomic bombs.
Okay.
And, like that's number one on our fears in 1955 still is that nuclear, like fallout. We're still training kids, like, I don't, duck and cover,
right.
Get under the desk.
Yeah.
And so, like, I mean, that's going to be like what's going to happen, like all this radiation, like what's happening to the animals that are there in those places in Japan.
Yeah, sure.
And, like, not to mention the Bikini Atoll, like that's where like all of the, like Godzilla comes from.
Okay. Sure.
That myth. And so like we've got, reptiles and amphibians and all those kinds of things, but we'll get to there.
Okay.
I've got a lot here.
All right, good. Let's unpack it all.
So Ohio at the time, we're heavily industrialized.
Yeah.
And, we're kind of economically powerful, but that's starting to decline.
Okay.
We're environmentally stressed because of all of those industries that we have here. Like we talked last time about the tanks and everything else being built right here in the Cleveland area, and it's across the state. Yeah, the entire state, because that's exactly what's happening with data centers now. I'm not going to go too far into that, but right now with data centers, they're taking up empty farmland, as they call it, and turning them into these big, gigantic, environmentally dangerous centers.
Okay, yeah.
So we're going to be seeing a lot more of these strange myths come out, which I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be very similar to Frogman and a lot of these, like ones that we've already talked about. Yeah. Like the fact that Grassman has had sightings again.
Yeah.
Doesn't surprise me because right now, one of our biggest fears is that the environmental factors in Ohio,
like the threat towards the environment and stuff like that.
People clearing out these forests here, people, like wanting to put in data centers, and like that's kind of the same fears that were happening in 1955.
Yeah. I mean that boot factory I mentioned, right? It had its like water runoff just right into the river or something like that. There was a factory like right there, that was discharging whatever it was discharging into the river. So.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, we're starting to get more highways, dams, factories, chemical runoff. We're caught between the rural identity and modern expansion. So, like you said, Loveland itself is kind of in that liminal position. Near Cincinnati, but it's still wooded, still river-bound. It's connected to the expanding suburbs, but still not quite a suburb.
Yeah, 1955. Yeah, right.
It's surrounded by the waterways and floodplains, and it's close enough to the industries to feel the modernization.
Yeah.
To feel that impact coming in. But it's also isolated enough to preserve the local mystery.
Okay.
So, and, the Little Miami River becomes important here. Historically, rivers represent trade, danger, transformation. Mm-hmm. They're often seen as borders between worlds. They're always kind of seen all over the world. We have stories of rivers and these river beings that either protect the rivers or use rivers as their method of pulling something into either danger, into another world, into different things like that.
Okay.
So in the mid-20th century, American rivers also become symbols of contamination.
Yeah.
That in industrial anxiety across the Midwest, especially, waterways are increasingly associated with pollution, mutation fears.
Yeah.
I mean, that's The Simpsons. Like you're like the what's his name? Blinky?
Yeah.
Three-eyed fish. Yeah. So I mean,
in Ohio, definitely. Like we polluted the crap out of our waterways.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we didn't have any idea.
Well, I mean, that's how we got one of our nicknames here in Cleveland is the Burning River.
Yeah, right.
So
yeah.
I mean, we're the reason for the EPA.
Yeah, sure. I know. Yeah, it started it.
Yeah. It was, that same time. 1950s, 1960s is when, one of our burning river things happened. And that's why they were like, oh, we need an environmental protection agency to take care of this.
Yeah.
So this matters, obviously, because the Frogman appears during the Cold War era, during a time that's obsessed with radiation, scientific experimentation, which we talked about last month. I think I said week, but it was obviously last month.
Last month, yep.
With the scientific experimentation and creatures that are mutating in hidden places, like the melonids. So the fear that nature itself was changing was a big one.
So you're talking, because the Melonheads was more, we dived into potential government experiments, but you're talking more like industry creating these sort of like mutations in potentially the Frogman situation.
Yeah, and potentially accidental, like what's actually happening in these waterways.
Yeah, I mean, you're dumping all of these different chemicals into this environmental area, and they're all mixing together, right?
Yep.
And frogs live there, right?
Yeah.
Frogs are there, so I could see that. That's good.
Yeah, and we'll get to frogs because frogs are going to be important to us too.
Okay, cool. So I don't know anything about frogs, so you gotta put some frog knowledge on me.
Oh yeah. So at the same time, Ohio is rapidly shifting culturally. We're getting rural spaces becoming more suburban. Forests are being interrupted by roads and development. Communities losing older identities, and people are becoming more disconnected from the natural landscape around them. The Frogman emerges precisely at that threshold between wilderness and infrastructure. So we're going to shift now to folklore. Okay, so the stories that we usually talk about here, which shape a lot of where this kind of new story is coming in.
Yeah.
Frogman may sound unique, but structurally it belongs to one of humanity's oldest storytelling traditions. The liminal water being, like I said earlier.
Okay, yeah, let's get into this a little bit.
Okay, so across cultures, humans repeatedly create stories about humanoid entities connected to rivers, lakes, swamps, and marshes.
Yeah.
I've talked about this before with one of mine, with Ya Llorona.
Yeah.
She's connected to the river. She is not a water being per se, but water is one of her signs, one of her omens.
Okay.
And so all these things can be like the Celtic water fae. We've got the Japanese kappa.
Okay.
We've got the Slavic Voronoi spirits. We have here the indigenous horned serpent traditions, which are also river beings. We've got river guardians and shapeshifters from the Eastern Woodlands folklore. These stories often share the same traits, where they appear near or in the waterways at night. They exist between human and animal or something else.
Oh, interesting. Well, that goes right along with Frogman, right?
Yeah. They behave strangely or intelligently.
Oh.
Shooting
wands. Yeah.
They vanish suddenly.
Okay.
They're testing or unsettling witnesses.
Okay. Yeah.
We're not going to talk about Matthews. I've already thrown him out in my head. So
nice.
They embody transformation.
Okay.
Keep that one in there.
Yeah.
Embody transformation.
All right.
That pattern matters more than literal similarity. The Loveland Frogman behaves less like undiscovered biological species and more like an encounter entity from those older folklore traditions.
Interesting, yeah.
See, even with the original 1955 report, it included bizarre details. You had a couple of them. You had 3 of them, right? They were standing upright. They were gathered near the river.
Yeah.
One of them was allegedly holding a wand-like object.
Yeah, I know.
I still love
No, the wand's the best part.
It is the best part. Producing sparks.
I know.
So
just holding a stick. Yeah.
I really need to know when Roman candles were invented.
I don't know. Maybe I
So
found one. I don't
they
know.
found one. So it was just a group of teenagers in the water at
Maybe.
3 a.m. shooting off Roman
Maybe,
candles.
yeah. Dressed like frogs.
Sure. I mean, they had nothing better to do in
Weren't
1955.
kids taller then? 3 to 4 feet? It was like giant
Uh,
children. Yeah, they stuck
yeah.
out. I don't know.
1950, so we don't
Yeah,
know.
puts a frog costume on. No, our parents won't recognize us when
Yeah,
we're out
exactly.
here.
So rather than asking, is the frogman real? The more revealing question may be, why do humans repeatedly imagine beings like this near water?
Yeah,
So, frogs, like I said,
yeah,
keep in mind that transition period. Frogs themselves carry ancient symbolic weight.
okay.
So, frogs are often used as symbols of transformation, rebirth, seasonal cycles, crossing between worlds. Because when they're born as eggs, then tadpoles, and then tadpoles grow these legs and this
Yeah,
body,
yeah,
and so kind of like completely different from how they were
yeah,
originally.
okay,
So they go through this kind of metamorphosis. So
okay,
amphibians, they're creatures of transition.
okay.
They're hybrids,
Yeah,
water and land, hidden and visible, silence and chorus, bud wise.
yeah.
Not a sponsor. But if they
Not
want to
yet.
be,
Not
like
yet. Yeah, we'll take whoever we can get.
that makes them ideal vessels for stories about uncertainty and change.
Hmm.
There are also modern attempts to connect the frogman to indigenous Ohio traditions, while authentic native stories of underwater spirits and horned serpents absolutely exist throughout that region. Many direct frogman origin claims appear poorly sourced or invented later to give the legend deeper historical
Yeah, I
roots.
read about that a little bit. There was one called Ag Bimu Agblimi Bumu.
Yeah, yeah,
We
something
might
like
have
that.
to
Yeah,
redo this. Algae Bumu,
algae.
which is an Algonquin story,
Yeah,
but it's more from the northeast part of the country, right?
yeah.
Um, but it was a frog, and it
Hmm.
would dam rivers or something. It was a giant frog, and it turned into a bullfrog. But these people, the Miami people, spoke the Algonquin language.
Yeah,
I guess it could have made its way down to that region, but it wasn't specifically in that region. Because I was looking for stories. We always see these stories of like,
yeah,
oh, well, this goes back to a Native American
yeah,
tradition, and it kind of follows along that line. So maybe that's the same thing. But this one, like you said,
yeah,
it wasn't directly related. So I think it was a little bit of a stretch,
yeah,
and I didn't want to push it because I don't want to like make stuff up. You
yeah,
know what I mean? Like Officer Matthews, potentially.
yeah. But that in itself, it's revealing. I mean, modern folklore often tries to borrow ancient legitimacy
Yeah.
because humans instinctively want myths to feel timeless. And like I said, we're creating new ones, and they're going to be new ones now, especially with where data centers are popping up. I mean, how we're creating new ones right now,
Yeah.
trying to stop it here in Ohio.
Yeah.
Like I know that the petition, I think, has gotten enough signatures to be on the ballot in November, but like that's not going to stop the
No.
current
No.
politicians and businesses from still creating them
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. I mean, and these, I don't know much about environmental law prior to where we're at now, but lazy would be a word that I would use to
Yes.
describe what happened, and one of the reasons why our river caught fire, right?
Yes.
In the Cuyahoga River in Ohio, in Cleveland, Ohio, and this follows along with that sort of thing. But the environmental push during the '70s, people started paying closer attention. Like, wait a minute, we can't, I can't swim anymore in the lake, so
Yeah.
we should really change that, and fish shouldn't be dying all the time. So that's interesting. I like that.
Yeah. And so the frogman survives because it serves social and psychological functions. And in fact, I think that's probably why the recent push here to make him the official state cryptid. of Ohio.
Yeah, talk about that a little bit, because the timing could not have been any better for when we're doing this podcast.
No, I know.
Like
less than a month ago.
We decided to do Frogman. Was it before? I can't remember. Did we decide before or right after?
I think it was right when we recorded the Melonhead episode.
Yeah.
It was like the next day was like the announcement that.
Isn't that crazy? I know. Yeah. For those of you listening, two state senators, right? One from state representatives, excuse me, a Republican and a Democrat, are crossing party lines to create the Frogman from Loveland as the official cryptid of the state of Ohio, which I don't think there is an official cryptid for any state.
No.
So that would be a first. But I hope that gets passed, because that would be awesome. And I hope they put him on the flag, because that would be really cool.
We've got a pretty good flag right now,
but you could put a little Frogman in the corner,
or in the middle of the O.
Oh yeah, right. He just fit right in. Yeah, a little frog face maybe.
Yeah,
we got to put the wand in there though somehow.
Yeah,
maybe just the
little wizard frog there.
Yes, wizard frog.
Yes, yeah. There we go. So, on one level, it's entertainment. It's a weird local story told around campfires, bars, podcasts.
Yes.
Late night drives. But folklore rarely survives for decades on novelty alone. So, like I said, it's the fear of environmental collapse, it's distrust of industrial modernization, uncertainty about what exists beyond urban control. And especially right now with making it the official state cryptid, I think that's the big symbol, because it is Ohio. Yeah, it's very much saying, what are you doing? Why are you messing with our land? Why are you messing with our rivers and stuff like that? And that's, one of the things that make us great.
Yeah.
What makes Cleveland great, I think, is our emerald necklace, our parks.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Our water is beautiful. Our waterways, the lake especially. But absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, so when TLC recorded their song about chasing waterfalls, it was obviously not here in Ohio, because we have we have some of the greatest ones that I just love to photograph. But,
yeah.
I mean, the story creates community, and it creates community for Ohio. And I think Frogman is a symbol of that fear.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that a little bit later on, but Frogman exists in that liminal emotional space between horror and absurdity.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike vampires or demons, it's difficult to take entirely seriously, because a frogman with a wand that shoots sparks into the sky.
Oh, I know. It's crazy. I love it though.
The absurdity may actually help the story survive.
Yeah.
Because humor lowers defenses. It allows communities to engage with fears indirectly. Those fears of pollution, mutation, isolation, decay, and uncertainty. That's still very much Ohio. It's where we've been for a long time. It's where we're going right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's not because people truly believe that they will see a frog-like humanoid creature by the river, but because the idea feels emotionally true to Ohio itself.
I like that. You talk a little bit about the cultural stuff. I found something, I don't know if you stumbled upon this, but the stories in 1972, how we kind of talk about how stories kind of evolve around important events or what's going on, in that local society. The KKK came to that area. They had rallies, big rallies in that area, almost exactly the same time. And that area, right, is borderline kind of southern, because it's like right on the Kentucky kind of area,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of cultural, issues that they've dealt with for a long period of time, right, because it's so far south in the state of Ohio. And I think the Frogman came around in the 72 stories because of some cultural kind of unrest. We have these massive KKK rallies that are coming there in this area that's, heavily populated. I don't know if you saw that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
but
no.
Yeah. And so weird unrest, in that
Mm-hmm.
in that area because of this racial kind of like divide that's happening. So there is a connection to the 72 stuff too, not just the 1955 stories as well, which I thought was kind of fascinating. And that area has had like a KKK presence for a long period of time, going
Yeah.
all the way back from 1923. It said, but you know, I think I think the environmental thing, I want to talk more about that than this, obviously, because
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of ring true, and I want to throw in some UFO stuff in there too. But uh, the uh, the divide within the community, and a frog guy. He
Mm-hmm.
didn't have a wand right anymore, but the
Yeah.
frog guy, I mean, everybody's just like, oh, cool, yeah, we have a frog guy here. We could get along on that, can't we? Can't we agree that we saw a frog man,
Oh
or
yeah.
or hey, did you hear the story from the officers about the frog man? It kind of brings people together a little bit
Yeah.
through a great divide, um, uh, and all these stories that we've talked about, right? And you're talking about, potential future stories with data centers coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, it kind of brings people together a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Because no one's hating on the frogman, so. But the environmental stuff is really, really great, right? Because you're right. I mean, what struck me is that I really honed in a lot on the boot factory runoff.
Yeah.
Why is it there? Now they think, oh, it's because of warm water, coming out of the pipes. Cool. Or maybe that's because of a center of all this pollution, and it's the
Yeah.
start of this pollution on this historic, this ancient river, that runs
Mm-hmm.
through the state, and it was important for hundreds and thousands of years for the people who've lived there. And these frogs are like, guys, what are we doing here? Why are you screwing up my river? But you were thinking that maybe that created the frogman, or maybe it was
Yeah.
a spirit, that came around or something like that. But what are you thinking about stuff like that?
Yeah. I think it's because it embodies kind of both.
Yeah.
It's like why would like the claw marks, I think, is going to be the main decider in that one. Is that the claw marks kind of indicate destruction, that it's something that humanity has built, and so this animal is not happy with humans, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
so I'm just taking with Shocky's there.
Yeah.
Shocky's story is that's what is claw marks, and he
Yeah. Sure.
jumped across into the
Yeah.
river like it was kind of a warning that he was standing in the road. Whereas Matthews, he's lying in the road, he shoots him, he puts it in the trunk of the car. That's why I'm like throwing him out completely.
Yeah.
Is because like it doesn't make sense with the cultural fears, with the way that storytelling goes. Is because I feel like Matthews made it up without understanding that story is culturally, historically, and um, fear based relevant within the context.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's fear based, but culturally, I think it's probably fit into that category.
From the officer's perspective.
Yeah, from the officer's perspective, that the officer didn't understand story, so that's
No.
why it loses credibility for him.
Yeah.
Whereas whereas those stories that were told that actually have a little bit more of having to do with like those cultural and those contexts there
Yeah.
for it, that lends them credibility.
Yeah.
It gives them the staying power.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like Matthews is.
Yeah. Just throw them out. Yeah.
And so like the Pokemon Go, even that one,
Yeah, right.
like is like he's got a photo of it. He's got something.
Yeah.
So it lends him like 2016. That's ubiquitous. Like everybody has a cell phone.
Yeah. Right.
So what are you going to do? You can take a photo.
Take a picture. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would be more question I would question his actions if he didn't take a picture of it.
Exactly.
Like, I'd be like, wait a minute, how could you not take a picture? Like, I understand the guy in 1955, he doesn't have a camera. 1972, they probably have a camera at the station or something like that. But no, in 2016, you ain't taking a picture of it. Do you not know how to use a cell phone? Like, come on, you have to take a picture.
Well, and even at that time, like the AR camera was built in. Pokemon Go.
Oh, okay.
So like, even if he was like in the process of catching a Pokemon, you could take a photo
with the
app, the Pokemon right there next to the Frogman.
Yeah, right. So. Interesting. Yeah. All right, let's shift gears a little bit.
Okay.
I want to talk about the wand, and I want to talk about the crossover to potential extraterrestrial with the 1955 story.
Okay.
So what big into the UFO stuff. I don't know a whole lot about it, but 1955 is just like UFO crazy people, right? I mean, they were just going nutso for like UFOs and extraterrestrial stuff. And this dude sees a wand come out of a frog hand and start shooting sparks into the sky. And I immediately thought UFO, and that's why this UFO investigator went down there and started talking to this guy, who was more than happy to share his kind of like encounter with it. But that was the angle that they were trying to go with a little bit. Do you think there's any sort of like comes down from space element potentially that is there with the three different three frogs together?
Yeah. Well, and I mean, it lends credence to it a little bit with that too. Primarily because same time, I mean, you get the Roswell incident is the 1940s.
Yeah.
And so
it was right before this.
Yeah. And I know. Like, we now have proof that it was actually a government cover up. They were covering up like the secret, aircraft.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But
I don't believe that. It was aliens.
It was aliens.
That's another cover up on a cover up.
Aliens. Unlike those AI generated photos that came out last week with Donald Trump walking with that big gray alien.
Oh my gosh!
I don't know if you've seen that one or not, but I mean, that's no. So, but yeah, I mean, it's because that same fears is that what did we unleash with this atomic bomb?
Yeah.
So I mean, that's the Godzilla stories that came out kind of the same time once film was becoming more and more like, oh, we can do this with giant rubber suits. And so
okay. Yeah, I think there might be something there, with the wand, because the story could definitely, venture off into that. But I do think it fits into that like lens, right? In that extraterrestrial paranoia lens, you know what I mean, that exists during that time, that people want to see these things. I don't mean the frog. I mean seeing the wand out of the frog hand and thinking like, oh my gosh,
No, he's signaling. He's like,
Yeah, I think it fits right in there. And you know what's funny? So this story is 1955. The Creature from the Black Lagoon comes out in 1954.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't place it there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
1954.
He didn't have a wand, though.
No, but you can't tell me that this dude didn't see that movie.
Yeah, like traveling salesman.
Yeah, he's watching Creature of Black Lagoon in small town cinemas across America, however far he ventures out. But no, I like that sort of stuff. The region, right? It's famous now for the Loveland Frogman. Yeah. In 1955, it wasn't. Really, but 1972 it became kind of like known. Us in Cleveland, at least for me, I really know the story, But I travel now to Comic Cons. We've been to one ourselves here in Cleveland, and it's a cryptid that's like known across the nation now. Like it has become famous. People know it. I was a little kind of ignorant to the fact that this was in our backyard almost,
Yeah.
myself. And when we started diving deeper into it, I realized that, like, oh my gosh, this is an Ohio town and it's famous for it now. And they have a festival there. They sell all kinds of merchandise down there. People know all the story and they embrace the story really well, down that, because it's just a regular kind of suburb. It's got some other quirky stuff that I don't want to talk about there, but with like a castle or something.
Yeah.
But this is their thing. I mean, the Frogman is their thing,
Mm-hmm.
and it gives them a little bit of local pride, I think, for these folks down in Loveland, Ohio. What do you think about that? Because we just talked about the Melonheads, and they're basically like, I don't know, like they're still kind of on the fence about the Melonheads a little bit. Bessie's been adopted, right? Pretty heavily. The Grassman is still kind of lingering around there.
But everybody's calling him, Bigfoot.
Bigfoot. Come on, this is Ohio. We're not Bigfoot.
Exactly.
We're Grassman. But what do you think about the regional identity sort of thing with the Frogman coming in through the Loveland area?
Yeah, and honestly, I didn't know a whole lot about Frogman until moving back to Ohio, or not back to, but moving to Ohio.
Right.
So yeah, Frogman was one that just kind of like, oh really? There's a guy that looks like a frog in Loveland.
Yeah.
Like,
did you know about the wand?
Loveland?
Did you know about the wand though?
No, no,
Yeah, I know. I know. I didn't know about the wand.
No, the wand is still the best part.
It's the best part.
And like it's like I don't know why he lost it in '72. Like
It dropped it in the river.
dropped it in the river.
That's what I'm saying.
But
Yeah.
he also lost his friends. One of them was shot though. So
Yeah, later, or it was him. I know, or he went back on a spaceship.
yeah, okay,
Whatever.
They left him behind.
Yeah,
like the
right.
one with the oh, that's what happened.
Mhm.
There was three of them. Those three got picked up. There was another one that was still in the river.
Yep. Right.
Okay.
Didn't get the wand. Yeah, got left behind. We
Now
figured.
they were just like, guys, hurry, let's go before he gets.
Yeah, we don't want so and so to come with us.
Okay, we got to find a name for him. Like it's Lucky.
Yeah, something. He's not that lucky.
No, he's not. But
He got shot. Um,
no, he's not dead because like he was seen in 2016. So
yeah, unless it was a different one that came back.
they
Right.
came back looking for Lucky.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah, revisit. Because nothing really was going on in 2016 that much in Southern Ohio, really, right?
Yeah.
I don't know why they would reappear. So
But we're like what we usually do here is we should explore what this legend says about us,
yeah,
right? So Frogman exists between the categories. He's both animal and human, water and land. He's funny and scary at the same time, real, but possibly really fake, because Matthew's story gets,
doesn't add up.
yeah.
Yeah.
So humans are uncomfortable with things that resist classification. That's psychologically ancient. People fear things that break the rules of identity. In industrial America, often created monster stories about the very landscapes that it damaged. Like I've said, is that so right here we've got something that's in between. That's both animal and human. And like I said, with the claw marks that give it credibility there, that's, like the animal world saying, hey, you're messing things up.
Yeah.
Even with aliens, I think that's kind of where like the cultural fear comes from, is that what did we awaken? What did we call here?
Okay.
With those bombs? Cause,
with our technology.
Yeah, with
right.
the technology that we've created here.
Yeah.
So you kind of see this if you go into like even the cultural lenses of the time, that from our time that look back at that kind of era, like Fallout, the Fallout games.
Mm-hmm.
Aliens play heavily into the Fallout games because it's the cultural fear of the time. Is that what do we call here?
Oh, sure, yeah.
So, it's one of those things where we're kind of creating the story because of those. We want to put a name to our fear.
Okay.
We want to put a name to what makes us afraid.
Yeah.
is we're afraid of like something that we're not able to control.
Yeah.
Something that that we don't know about. Something coming here and like hurting us, and we don't have the ability to stop them.
Yeah.
I mean, you see that in Thanos is like what was it? The line that Nick Fury in the Marvel movies said is that we showed them that we are ready for a war that we're not really ready for.
Yeah.
So something like that.
Yeah.
Highly paraphrased from me. I mean, at some point, the Frogman stopped being a threat and became a mascot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he became a mascot for Ohio, became a mascot for our fears and who we are. So not just that we're afraid, but that we don't want these things happening here. As much bravado as we put on, it's like, no, we don't want like the industries here polluting our rivers.
Right.
Yes, we want the job.
Yeah, sure.
But we don't want that.
Do it responsibly. Yeah, right.
So let's say, what do we think really happened here? We've got explanations that keep changing.
Mm-hmm.
We've got, a lot of these different stories, but one fascinating thing is that there's nobody that's trying to debunk the Loveland Frogman.
Right, I know, yeah.
So he's kind of weird in that weird area of urban legend.
Yeah.
But not officially a cryptid.
Okay.
Because to be a cryptid, you have to have enough sightings. You have to have enough, which I didn't know before doing this show.
So he's like a pseudo cryptid?
He's a pseudo cryptid.
He's not full cryptid?
He's not full cryptid. He doesn't have enough sightings yet.
Oh my God.
So since he's only had 4.
Wow.
And one of them is a very uncredible sighting.
Yeah.
Shot and in the trunk. Come on.
I know.
I'm going to go back to that. I don't like
story.
That yeah. Different generations explain Frogman differently. People have suggested, escaped iguanas or...
Yeah, the iguana thing was the big, Ohio iguanas and...
misidentified animals, stuff like that. Sure. Intoxicated witnesses, because what is a traveling salesman doing out at 3 a.m.?
I know, but he went to the police station.
Yeah,
like he really he talked to the chief or the police house or whatever. I don't know. There's
something that I brought up earlier: teenagers in costumes.
Sure. Yeah.
Exaggerated storytelling, which Matthews was.
Yeah.
And police overreaction.
Yeah.
Which Matthews was as well.
I'm gonna shoot the thing in the road.
Yeah. I'm going to shoot the thing in the road. Might be dead. I'm just going to shoot it.
Shoot it.
So that inconsistency matters. You could ask, if the answer is obvious, why does the explanation keep changing? So the police sightings matter. 1972 reports gained traction because police officers were involved.
Yeah.
That changed the psychology from drunk guy tells a weird story to authority figures encountered something strange.
Yeah.
And we're going to throw out Matthews, but...
and that's why it picked up so much momentum, after that. Whereas from 1955 to 1972, there wasn't a lot of momentum in there. There wasn't a lot of like, oh, what's going on? But after 72 stories, they were like, oh, maybe there's something to this, Yeah.
Well, and Grassman, we haven't had a recent story until... recently. It was like 4 in a row.
In a row. I know. It's crazy. Yep.
And then that meteor exploded over our head, and then, that portal opened up, and he went home or whatever. Frogman may also have gone home with them.
There's a lot of competing interpretations.
They're from the same dimension.
Yeah.
Okay. But... a lot of this delayed rationalization about these stories. And so I think that there's not really a whole lot of like counter stories that we really can save for this.
No. I like the UFO angle, which maybe I kind of created myself a little bit with some help from the UFOologists, right? Yeah. Back in the 55 region or area there. But, I like the idea that maybe these frogs came from somewhere else, somewhere extraterrestrial, and then came down. Why else would they have a wand, right? And they know how to use the wand. And then they maybe just disappear for a little while. I can't tell you why Loveland, Ohio, but again, we've said this before. Why not Loveland, Ohio, right? But the Miami River was, significant for a long period of time.
Oh yeah.
It's still significant for the people who live there,
Oh
right?
yeah.
They use it for all kinds of recreation purposes. It's very kind of a wild region too, so it's not like overly developed with a bunch of like McMansions all lining it, or things like that. So, but I don't know. I tend to go full extraterrestrial with this, but yeah, I mean, kids, teenagers, it's pretty late at night. I don't know what they're doing. Someone saw them, and why would they jump in the river? Like, go home, right? Get on your bike.
Yeah, with Roman candles or
Yeah,
some
whatever.
weird wand thing
Yeah,
that's going to shoot
yeah,
sparks into the sky.
yeah. I know.
And yeah, I mean, he's there though. Like, better or worse, like his I hope becomes officially our
I
state
do too.
cryptid.
That would be
So,
really cool. Yeah,
and by then I think he'll be
fully
fully cryptid and not just
cryptidized.
a
Yeah, right.
urban
I feel
legend.
like we're talking about being a saint right now, and that just you have to complete certain
Canonized. Yeah.
steps. You have to, and that would be like that would trump all other steps, right?
Yeah.
If you accomplish something that no other cryptid has accomplished, then you have to be
Oh yeah.
acknowledged as a cryptid. But yeah, absolutely. And I want to go down to the festival. It's in March,
Oh
and they
yeah.
do like a whole thing down there.
Oh nice.
The Mothman. There's a Mothman festival too,
Yeah.
as well, which I've kind of stumbled upon in my travels,
Well, I mean, it's
inadvertently.
pretty much
I know,
like
straight across.
just on the other side
Yeah,
of
right. I know.
like
Yeah,
state from there. But
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So
Whereas Mothman is kind of like West Virginia's cryptid.
yeah,
We've got, why not,
yeah. I know.
our Frogman.
Right. I know.
So yeah, and I think that like it's one of those stories that I'm again not looking for what it could be. It's
Yeah.
more that I like the fact that it speaks to who we are
Yeah. Sure.
as a people.
Yeah. And I really love the fact that we're there, they are, and we are trying to all embrace it,
Yeah.
as this kind of like symbol, for us, and it's a healthy symbol. It's not aggressive, it's not mean. It's just kind of hanging out by the river and shooting sparks in the sky every once in
Yeah.
a while and then climbing over the guardrail, until it gets shot by a police officer. But, it's just hanging out. Big frog creature.
Yeah. I mean, well, the claw marks may symbolize some hostility, but
Yeah. Still no picture of the claw marks, though. I would have liked to have seen the claw marks.
yeah,
Sure.
yeah, that
That would have really given some serious credibility to some of this stuff. But yeah, I mean, in 1955, in Loveland, Ohio, really changed, right?
Mhm.
It's all because of a traveling salesman pulled over on a dark river road at 3:30 a.m. and saw something that had absolutely no business being in a small town in Ohio. 4 sightings in 70 years. That's all. That's all we get is 4 sightings over a course of 70 years. And yet, it's a city mascot. They have an annual festival, which we talked about. They sell merchandise. There's a movie, which I haven't seen. I guess they made a musical, too, by the way, which also I haven't seen. And now there's a pending bill in the Ohio legislature to get passed, right?
Mhm.
This little Loveland Frogman did more for a town than anything else could have done for that little area. Loveland claimed it as their thing. They put it on t-shirts and parades, coffee mugs, and they said, yeah, it's ours. You got a problem with our frog? And you know what? I really love that. So look, if you're sitting there and listening to this episode and it did something to you, maybe take a drive down to Loveland sometime, walk along the little Miami River after dark, find Riverside Drive, it's still there, stand near the guardrail where the 2 cops saw something they spent the rest of their lives trying to explain or not explain. See what's out there. And if you do happen to run into something leathery and frog-faced and about 3.5 feet tall, say hi from us, give them a high five, and ask him if he still has his wand.
Please.
Thanks for being our neighbor.
All right. And thank you so much for liking and subscribing. Please subscribe to us on every podcast platform that you possibly could think of.
Reach out to us, ask us questions, connect.
Leave us a review. I know I haven't been really active on our socials, but, there's been a lot of this stuff that's out there that, I've got other stuff going on. So... Yeah. But that's why we're so much space between our last two episodes here. It's a busy time of the year.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And I don't think we've decided on the next one yet, but we're going to brainstorm on that guy. So.
Yeah. I've got a idea on what the next one is going to be, and we've talked about it a little bit. But I'm going to pitch to him after we're done here.
All right, let's do it.
All right. So, thank you so much.
Thanks for being our neighbor.